Okay, so we went through conversation, we went through stealing. Now we're going over in preschool, we're still in class. I don't know what happened on my Twitter. That wasn't me, it was my evil twin. Um, Minjo was his name. Minjo, my evil twin. So anyone who wants to date me, you have to know that I'm dealing with an evil twin. Right? Just like anyone who wants to date Nicole, you have to know that she has Down syndrome. Right? That's what we're talking about now. Down syndrome and racism are the same thing. If you're around someone with Down syndrome, you'll see they have a lot of hate. A lot irritates them. Simple things irritate them. So it's just a lot of hate inside the person who has Down syndrome. It's not a personal attack and it's not racism. Racism does not exist. All right, just like time arrives, you have to think that way. Racism in society does not exist. It's people with disabilities. All right, so we're talking about racism and Down syndrome. It's one and the same now. So communication, stealing, racism and Down syndrome, they go hand in hand. It's like space time, right? Racism and Down syndrome go hand in hand, right? They look functional in society, but they're not. Okay. So what it is they're hunting unicorns. People with Down syndrome. They're hunting unicorns. Everyone knows your skin doesn't matter. Everyone knows this. But not to these people. To these people, you're evil. You don't look like me. You don't have Down syndrome like me. You're evil. You're intelligent. I'm not. You're evil. All right? That's how they count to 2. I'm good. You're evil. I'm good. You're evil. That's how they count to 2. You see how they struggle really hard with it. Just imagine society struggling too. You all have some sort of Down syndrome. Because you can only count to 2 in dark math. Right? That's why it's like men look so normal. Men look so normal. He behaves so normal because he is. If you can't count, your brain is messed up. All right? So if people want to be friends with Nicole, know that she is racist. But it's more of hunting unicorns. She's hunting fairies. She's hunting elves. She's hunting. I don't know why she's hunting at all. But there's just a lot of hate in her head. But what Nicole did is racist. Right? For her to understand what she did, she's trying to lie about it, but it is racist. But it's not really racism. It's hunting unicorns. She's in her own fairy tale. And I'll show you. So this is what someone with Down syndrome looks like. Okay. So that's what someone with Down syndrome would look like. And there's like functional depression. They're still depressed. So if you look at someone with Down syndrome, that's heavy Down syndrome. And if you look at Nicole, you can see it's very similar. The eyes, the head shape, all of it. All right, she has functional Down syndrome. If people are nice enough and still want to be her friend, just know that she doesn't function the normal way. So they're like the multiverse and the Earth are different. It's not. The disease you have on Earth are the same disease you have in the multiverse. Okay? It's just more enhanced here because there's a um it's allowed, right? Um when you're born, you might be old. That's that's a form of Down syndrome. You're a boy. That's a form of Down syndrome. So so what you're supposed to look like is like this. You're supposed to look like a model. All right? This means no flaws. And when someone with Down syndrome sees something like this, they hate it because they're not that. Understand? They hate it because they're not that. They don't understand the number two. They then hate it. If they don't understand it, they hate it. It irritates them so much they gotta get rid of it. All right? So Nicole is going through her Down syndrome fantasies where she's not as beautiful as the Renaissance kids, so she just got rid of the baby. It's very racist, but she has to know that it's her fantasy. She's running her fantasies. So there's no evil people in the world. It's just very sick people in the world. That's why we need doctors. All right, so this is what you're supposed to look like. You're supposed to look American. So you're supposed to look American. Right? You're not supposed to look African, you're not supposed to look Asian, you're not supposed to look like a boy. You're supposed to look American. All right? Something like this. You're supposed to look like that. Okay? All right? The reason why you're supposed to look like that is we don't live in a desert where you need a lot of melatonin. Like, that's a lot. That's heavy makeup, right? African people, dark skinned people, that's a heavy makeup, right? For what? For what? That's heavy makeup every day. For what? And the same with the boys. That's heavy makeup. For what? There's no danger out here. You must be sick. You must be sick to have that on. All right? So you're supposed to look American, just very natural. Right? English speaking, no accent. All right? Accent as well. Australian accent, English accent, that's also an impediment. You're not supposed to sound like that. All right? It's supposed to be very fluid and American and English. Right? Very natural and American. That's what you're supposed to look like. And that's why Nicole would look at this and it would hurt. Anything with beauty, it hurts her. She doesn't understand it. She doesn't understand beauty because she doesn't feel beautiful. One thing she needs to get out of that heavy makeup, the Down syndrome makeup, she needs to get out of it to clear her mind. But right now she's in a fantasy world where she doesn't like unicorns, she doesn't like elves, she doesn't like, pleasant things. Pleasant. So that's why she did what she did. Same with everything on earth. That's why they do it. Like when they see something beautiful like this, it hurts. They don't know how to count. It hurts. Very painful. Yeah, you're just supposed to look American. South African accent, Gotta get rid of that. Yeah, just very American, very natural. You know how people go, "Oh, you have natural beauty." It's like that. Like it should be natural. It should not be a boy. It should not be heavy pigmented skin. That's just heavy makeup covering something you're scared of. Being a boy as well, you're covering something you're afraid of. And if you look like you have Down syndrome, like Nicole, then you're covering something you're afraid of as well. But they're not bad people. It's just an era where there's no medicine for it. Right? It's just an era where there's no medicine. Well, we have it now with me, but it's just an era that around 1987 or so, there was no medicine for this. For hunting unicorns, there's no medicine for it. So in 2021, I developed the medicine. So, when we get back to the multiverse, um, you gotta get out of that heavy makeup. You gotta get out of it. It's not real, right? You look like clowns out there, man. Really, like guy pride and racism. Really? Come on, man. You look stupid. Um. So yeah. Let's see if there's anything else. So yeah. So that's racism and Down syndrome again. So what Down syndrome looks like. What functional Down syndrome looks like. You see, it's very similar. And then just an ideal natural beauty, what you're supposed to look like. That's why when people they get into their natural clothes, they feel better, right? So that's why when you see Nicole in acting in another outfit, you see that she functions better because you got to get out of it. It's messing up your head. You think it's real. So when we get home, yeah, no more English accent, no more South African accent, no more Australian accent. It's not real. All right, from a doctor's perspective, it's not real. There's only the American English accent. All right. So that's basically it. Again, something happened with my Twitter account. I think like an evil twin got on it or something, and I think Mrs. Wright's gonna be mad at me for that. Um, but I want to explain myself so that people understand that an evil twin takes over my body, just like unicorns. An evil twin takes over, and I can't control it. And I'm calling him Minjo, like a banjo. Like he plays his own music. So you wanna listen to it that way, like, huh, the banjo's playing. You know, from the 1800s. And what kind of music is it playing? Is it racist? Is it hunting unicorns? Is it a fairy tale? You know? So that's how I see it. I'm like, Minjo, why did you do that? You know? So if anyone is thinking about moving in with me, like Mrs. Wright or anyone, you have to understand that Minjo is still very present. I haven't found a cure for Minjo yet. I found a cure for Down syndrome and racism, but Minjo is something that's going to be a lot harder for me to try to solve. He's very connected with me. Well, there's a he. Maybe if I change into a girl, Minjo will go away. You know what? I think that's the cure. I think that's the cure. to get rid of Minjo. So, if we're still playing on Earth and we're still going to the White House, just know that Minjo will still be present. All right. There's no getting rid of Minjo. He's very angry. All right. And he's very real. Minjo is very real. He's a very angry, angry boy. And the only way to get rid of Minjo is to get out of this boy's outfit and go back to being a girl. So, if anyone still wants to play on Earth, I'm putting a warning out there. Minjo is very angry, as you can see. That is a very angry boy. And there's no getting rid of him. Right? The only way is to get out of the boy outfit, to get rid of Minjo. So if you're still planning on playing on Earth, that's my warning. Play with it at your own risk. As a doctor, I would advise that everyone get off of Earth. That's my advice as a doctor, to get off of Earth so that we can quickly get into our natural outfits and live a real life. Because continuing this false fairy tale life is just perpetuating the illness. All right, it's making you even more sick, and it's making Minjo sick, which I don't like. So, as a doctor, I would heavily advise that everyone get off of the Earth, so that we can finally get out of our costumes. Right? We're all in costumes. That's the next cure, the next medicine. Because born as humans, you're very sick. You have to understand that you're not born healthy. You're born very sick. So yeah, that's my advice. I would not suggest staying on Earth and continuing the fairy tale. I would highly advise against that. Like I said, the more natural you can get, the more healthier you'll get, and the more happier your life you'll live. So we continue this fantasy, it's just not helping. Just like if Nicole continues her fantasy, you see what she did. Right? Same with the Earth. If we continue this fantasy, you're gonna do something dangerous. Right? I can see it happening. So we want to get back to natural life, natural bodies, and then see where that goes. There was no medicine before. That's the medicine now. So yeah, let's get it done, and let's not procrastinate. And there's a lot of sick people living in the fantasy world, and we have to do something about it. We can't continue pretending that it's not real. The illness is not real. The sickness is not real. It's very real. It's to the point where I can't control myself living in the fantasy. It's pissing me off. And you guys think that I'm the smart one. I'm losing control. I'm attacking friends, family, I'm attacking everyone. Living in the fantasy. So it correlates to how everyone else is dealing with their fantasies. You're very angry. For a reason, it's not real. So so that's that. Again, I would highly advise not staying in the fantasy. I know you guys are afraid of the light switch. I get it. You're afraid of natural beauty. I get it. But it's the only way. All right? It's just the only way. All right? You can't keep avoiding this. You're living like Nicole, avoiding natural beauty, which is natural life. A light switch. You're becoming Nicole. You're hating the light switch. A light switch. See how dumber you're getting? The more you live in the fantasy, the dumber you get. It's very real. So they have to find a way to flip on the light switch or end it somehow. The reason why I'm not gonna do it is because I'm 34 years old. Like, it's really easy for me just to be a kid and mess around. But for the old people, remember, like, it's very hard to count to 2. Right? You see how Nicole avoided men? You're avoiding the light switch. Just counting to 2. So I want to get them to be natural. Count to 2. So it's just a little exercise. I know it's hard. I know you're in preschool, and I know you don't understand why. But as a doctor, that's the best way for you to do it. If I do it for you, you just don't learn anything. You're just... Min's always there for us. The doctor's always there for us. They're gonna forgive me anyways. What Nicole? They're gonna forgive me anyways. It doesn't help the mind grow. You have to do it. Because I know I can do it. I mess around all the time. It's nothing for me. As you can tell, I broke my own house. Very easy for me. And I even switched planets. Like, they followed me to this planet. That's how easy it is for me. So I proved that I can do it. It's your turn to prove that you can do it. To count to 2. All right?